Hi there, business owner, and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, the place where we go beyond the numbers and dive into strategies to help you build a better business one step at a time. I'm your host, Stephanie, a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in the bookkeeping and accountancy world. If you're a business owner looking to streamline, grow, and get back the time that you deserve, you're in the right place. We're tackling real-world problems, answering tough questions, and digging deep into business-building secrets in just 15 minutes each week. So are you ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity? Then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, your go-to place for 15 minutes of CPD certified motivation, inspiration and education to help you build a better business. Now this week I have an amazing guest with us this week. So Natalie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, first of all, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. I am Natalie Potts and I help entrepreneurs, coaches, creators online to cut through the noise, essentially just get very clear on their messaging so people know exactly what they do and who they help, which often sounds really easy, but I'm always going to people with saying, I don't get what you do. So that's why I help people do.
Absolutely. I think messaging is something, even me as a business owner, I've gone through so many iterations of my messaging. I think it's something that always evolves, isn't it?
It does, yeah, 100%. And like I have a framework we look at that you have to have congruence. First of all, like understanding you as a business owner and positioning who you are, personal branding, all of that side. But then we have to get really clear on who's the ideal client. And I think people see it so much as a tick box exercise, but you and I have changed in the last few months, let alone the last few years. We are always evolving expectations, behaviours, how people buy. We have to really get close to ideal client. Then we have to have a very good offer for that ideal client, markets that ideal client, sells that ideal client. And that's how you get great messaging when it's congruent through all. And I think people see it very much of, oh no, I need to focus on sales and marketing and everything else. It's like, yeah, but if your messaging's not clear, like none of those things are going to be relevant or relatable to people. So let's just get that foundation piece done first. So I very much think it's very important. Like you say, like it can change. If offers change or we work with different people, the messaging will evolve.
I love that. Yeah, very much. I feel like sometimes you just post on social media as a business owner, you're like, I just need to get something out there. And it's like needle in a haystack. If you're not talking to the right people, and you say about the noise and the local space is busy enough, but you get the online space involved in that, and it's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, look what you do. There is thousands of people doing what you do. There's loads of people doing what I do. People find it very hard to differentiate themselves, and it doesn't have to be loads of different things that we do. You know, your values and your story are often the best place to start with that. But get really clear on that, because you need to, again, I know when we've spoken before, you're very much about people and getting into business. And it's that makes a huge difference with how you therefore market and sell yourself.
I love that so much. And talking about people, the reason that we're here today is that you are doing an in-person event on the 13th of November. Tell us more about that.
27th, but that's cool. It's the 27th of November. There's a lot on at Christmas. I love that time of year. And I think, as you said, like people, that's probably something that's brought us close together and how we talk on things, because again, people buy from people. And I think a lot of people are either they're like, I'm online, offline, and actually like we're kind of in the worlds of everything now. But bringing people together, genuinely connecting, you know, you can do great calls like this, but there's still a barrier. And that in real life of people, you know, getting out your comfort zone, like really connecting, networking, looking at good opportunities to collaborate on different things, that being in the room is like gold dust that you just can't replicate online. And I think it's so important. So there's the element we're going to focus on fixing your messaging, of course. There's a big part of having some incredible sponsors and speakers talk about what they do, but again, for you to see how they position their message differently. Some have been clients, some haven't, but how they're really putting it out to the world and growing their businesses as inspiration. And again, then in the afternoon, we're going to do a bit of a piece where we just bring more round table and they go to the sponsors and they just everybody can speak. It's not one of those where you're just spoken at you. You just bring people together, and sometimes you have to lead by example and create and curate those environments, and that's very much what the event is for me.
I love that. 27th, 13th of November this goes out. Tickets are on the 27th. You've got time to go and get some.
That's a strategic approach I like.
What I love about that, and I don't know if you've even realised, is the 27th of November is the day after the autumn budget is delivered by Rachel Reeves. So we will finally know all of the changes that's going to impact us as business owners.
Yeah, and do you know what? But even with that, there'll be people thinking their weight and things like that. Like, this world in business is so fast right now, and it's not going to slow down. And therefore, you've got to take opportunities, go with things, just get out there, just fail faster, learn, and I think and just keep going. So there'll be some. It's a good one to think about the mood of people because it will impact, but it's how then we choose to then go forward from that, isn't it?
I love that so much. And obviously the 27th of November as well, it's that sort of end of November, beginning of the Christmas period. It's nice to just get out and see real humans again. I think being a COVID business, being a COVID baby, sitting here behind the screen is kind of how we all are. And I
Yeah.
find when I go out to events, so our industry event is on the 17th of November, and bookkeepers are well known for sitting in the corner, sitting at home in their office, whatever it may be, but alone. And that, even if it's somebody that does what you do, building that camaraderie and having somebody to speak to of, are you having this issue too? Or
Yeah.
how do you deal with this challenge when it comes up? Those connections are only really built in person, I feel. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I do agree. And there's also a conversation, like, I'm naturally very confident as a person, always have been, years in corporate and leading teams and things. But I sometimes find, maybe less from my perspective, but people think you can come across a certain way online and different in real life and things like that. And it's just, again, just breaking down all those barriers. Like, we're human beings and we've all got something to learn from people, I think. And again, like, what I love about what you do is it's a skill that no one's taking away. And so it's about getting out and thinking around, what am I great at? What can I bring to the table? How can I help people? Give you that boost of confidence. It's not been an easy year in business. We all know that at all. And therefore, having people around you, like you say, who sometimes you can just soundboard and give you the space to just get it. Somebody was asking about the agenda the other day. I was like, look, I've just told you speakers and there's this. I've been to incredible events in Canada. There's no agenda until you walk in the room. That's part of it. And I said, that's a you. You're not used to that. You want to know everything because you're structured and you're a certain personality. But that's exactly what the difference I'm creating here is. I just want people to just let all of that go for once and have a bit of fun as well. I talk a lot about values in business, yet we're just work or next thing, or work on our own. And you've got to be putting yourselves in environments where you're like, people changes the game on so many things, the right people as well, the right mindset of person, that really helps. So there's been pockets this year where I've shown up in business, but I've not loved it. And that's okay. That's just because it's my business. I love my business, but I don't have to love every day being like, let's go, let's do this. Like, that's just not a reality. And again, back to being a bit more human of, it's pretty SHIT right now, or it's hard, but I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to ask for help, or I'm going to try this. And if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The same with the event. People are like, how many people there and all this? I was like, well, I've got 60 names to lock down. If I get 100, whoopie-doo, but if it's 60, or if it was 40, or if 20 show up, I'll make it amazing for every single individual that comes. Like, lesson learned. So I just think it's more about just getting out there, doing good things, being strategic in things. But I think bringing people together, you can't often go wrong.
I love that. And what you probably don't know is that I suffer hugely with anxiety. So confidence is not a skill of mine at all. And yet I still push myself out my comfort zone and I go to these in-person events and I always leave feeling like, if nothing else, I've pushed myself today, like I've achieved something.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will be, but is there anything that you can say to those that maybe are a little bit anxious, that aren't used to dealing with big people or being at home all the time or have that anxiety around it? I know they're going to be amazing in your space, but how can we reassure them, I guess?
I think you've got to reframe things. That's really important. I've come, like you said, CPD. I've come from a very strong coaching background, CPD coaching as well. It's people-centered, which I love. And to help you see differently on that, I always ask a question like at the start is like, why is this day important to you? Like, because why you do what you do matters, and that's important. That drives you as well through the hard times on things. So going back to why something really matters and why you want to do it, and that bigger picture vision of where you want to be with it. I also have another idea is that when you start to get around the right people, when I left corporate, I was very aware of people and community and connection. That's why I went straight to a mastermind, because I was working on my own. So I knew I needed people. So get around people who are like-minded, but the ones who want you to win. And I always start events like that. Like, everybody here wants you genuinely to win. Even the people on stage. I remember when I spoke somewhere on stage and I was petrified about going up my first time in doing a business. I'd always spoken at stuff, but this was different. And she was like, everybody wants you to win in this room. And you genuinely got that sense. The first part is the courage. You've got to take that first step. And I think people want the confidence first. Have the courage to just show up and be there. And I genuinely believe that most of the time, people are going to welcome you in, going to want you to be a big part of it, because it means something to them too. So they're going to create that. And if it's not, then you just learn, and not everything is for you. But I think it's around the courage to take the first step. And like reality, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you go, I've been to one event this year and I felt so out of my depth, and I was like, this is horrific, like swallow me up. And I was like, it's an hour or two of my day. And I got out and I was like, at least I know, like, not to do it again. Like, it's been on my mind for a while, and the lesson is, no, it's not for me. Nobody died. It hasn't massively affected my business. I've just realised, actually, those people aren't my ideal clients, and that was a lesson I've learned. I need to get better at that, and then I won't feel that uncomfortableness in that way. But I think something uncomfortable as well is the path to growth, right? So I think just give things a go. People want you to do well, and having that in mind, people want you to win. Nobody's often thinking, oh, I hope they're a dickhead, or I hope they come out of some crap. I don't know, I'm swearing, by the way. But you see what I mean? Like, I don't think that when I go places, or, oh, I don't really want to talk to her. I just think, okay, it's not for me. Move on.
I love that. And what I really love is that you're really honest about the lows as well. I am the same. I'm so transparent with, it's not always rosy. And I think too often nowadays, everyone's like, oh, it's wonderful, it's amazing. Life's not like that.
No, it's not. It's hard. And sometimes, I guess another reframe. I've always looked at, when I think of the great clients I adore and love to work with, they've all just come from a simple hello, or often somewhere where you're a bit like, oh, hi, who are you? What do you do? Oh, I do this. And that rubbish stuff that we have to get over. And then they're like, it's the most incredible relationships after that. They've all come at that sticky point a bit. I think just get out there, be a human, and be fun, and be who you are, and keep it natural. And if you're a bit more, I don't like labels of introvert, extrovert, but I think if you're a bit quieter and reserved, then that's okay as well. Like, I can be a bit like that. Sometimes I'll go to events and things and people think I'm cold. I'm not cold. I'm more confident online sometimes. It doesn't mean I'm, like you said, the anxiety part, but I've just kind of accepted that more for now. If I can't accept it, I can't expect anyone else to. And then, it does build. But yeah, not everything is going to be, but it's a bit like anything. It's the numbers game. And also there's some things I've been to before. If I hadn't have gone, like, that was just brilliant for me too, just to, like, I went to an event last week in London, I didn't know anybody, Creative Fest. I just needed a different space where people were talking about things just beyond bloody money online and stuff like that, and make $5,000 and 10 grand months and do this, and you're not doing enough. And it was just all about impact and purpose. And they were like, yeah, of course we're going to talk about money. Like, you need to make money, but we're doing it because we love it. And it was just a different feeling. I was like, I just need a bit more of this fresh feeling. So I think, like, we have to be honest with ourselves on those things and do it. And it is a bit nerve-wracking. I didn't talk to anybody and meet loads of people, but that was okay. It, like, ticked the box on something I just needed last week.
I love that. So if people want to get out of their comfort zone and have a go and come to an event, yours is the perfect example. So where, when, how do people get tickets?
So they can come to nataliepots.co.uk /London Live. I always feel like I should put in like TV, like /. But it's that. Or the best place is always Instagram, just Natalie Potts, strategist on there. And I would like this part. I'm always like, stop, listen to these podcasts, but like reach out to people if you have guests on, or yourself, and just build that conversation, ask the questions. People sit for so long and don't ask because they're worried about how they come across. I'm like, just bloody DM me. That's what you got to do. Say, hi, listen to this. It was, rubbish or great. And that's good. It's all good feedback.
I love that. So 27th of November in London.
Yeah.
I have one final question that I ask all my guests when they come on the podcast. If you could describe your business in one word, what would it be and why?
Focused. I've got a big thing on focus this year. because I bring in strategy, coaching, mentoring, everything. And I think in the strategy side, people want to know what to do all the time and get a result. But I think if you've got focus, it's around, like looking at forward vision, which I love and I think is really important in business, goals, everything like that. But then I also think it's really important with focus is what you say no to. And that's certainly been something this year where I've been doing so many things. I've really simplified back and said, actually, what's the core things that are going to move me forward, make the boat go faster type of thing. And that focus, the ability to say, like, what do I say yes and no to, has really just helped me just stay and meet myself where I'm at in business.
I love that. Every single time I ask, I get a different answer. I don't think two people have ever said the same word twice, which is amazing.
Good question.
So that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, rate and review wherever you're watching so we can push this out to help more business owners build better businesses. Thank you so much for joining us, Natalie, and I will see you all next week for the next episode. Bye. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful and that you're walking away with some motivation, inspiration, or education to help you build a better business. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and of course connect with us on social media for more insights, tips, and behind the scenes content. Your next step in building a better business is just a click away. I can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.